Hi, I'm going to have a go at painting my river Wandle again. It's a very small river that runs from a place called Croydon in the Surrey Hills and ends up at the Thames. And the bit that my old friends ride is a stretch from where we live, Waddington in South London or North East Surrey, to Merton Abbey, where there's still a working mill. In the 19th century there was something like well over 60 mills working on the Wandle. And it became nothing much more than a sewer in the 50s and 60s in the 20th century. But now it's teeming with life and very beautiful, but people still insist on throwing their rubbish into it, which is rather hurtful, especially to those people that work tirelessly to keep it in pristine condition. Lots of fish in it. So I'm going to do an autumn. I did this one of it last year, I think, sometime. I might have done it earlier in the year. I didn't date it. But the view is from a bridge, a wooden bridge, and it was of autumn. So I'm going to do a similar one again because I do love it. It's difficult to get dead right, but this area is all undergrowth, blackberries, nettles, and all that sort of thing, ferns. And you've got this distant small tree. It's not very distant, probably about 100 yards. But we have to make it look different with the aerial recession. And this area would be in shadow. The sun is over here. So I'm going to do a version of it. We were cycling it yesterday, as we do every Tuesday. So I give the water a bit of a wet. The water's clean, but my brush obviously isn't. No matter. This is Fabriano, £130, 15 inches by 11. Have a piece of cloth ready to mop your loose paint or water off the brush of the hake. There's my palette. Very, very simple. A food display tray. I buy them 2 at a time online. Lemon yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey, burnt sienna, and this is cadmium yellow. Artist quality, very, very saturated colour, but they're quite expensive. You don't use a lot of them. But I've got it, so I'm using it. It's slowly going stiff, a bit like me, really. What's that? Right, okay, a blush of sienna. You'll find that your hake will split, and if it does, just dip it in the water and then just work it on your palette until it comes back together again. But you do need a touch of water with it to do that. So we'll put an autumny sky. The sun is slowly getting lower in the horizon now, so we'll put a bit of blue. All these colours are, with the exception of that cadmium yellow, are Cotsman, Winsor Newton Cotman. Which is student quality, but they're adequate for this. And we can put a little bit of alizarin on the horizon. I'm going to put my bit of rag in the tray. I'm using a box easel rather than the studio easel or the John Herring or Frank Herring and Son. See, that's got a little bit of rye there. So let's just keep that wet. So when it starts to dry, it can cause a problem. Right, okay, so it's very dry today. The weather's slowly moving into autumn, but summer's not going without a fight. I'll just reclip. Right, okay. Take off the excess water in the bottom. I'll give it a bit of a dry, so taking headphones off, I would put it in the background. Okay, that'll do. So, some nice burnt sienna, because it's a bit of yellow and a bit of Payne's grey. Look how strong that yellow is. Well, a bit of green. Let's just put in these distant. And over that I'll put in some autumn colour. And put a bank in, a bit of blue, just a bit of dark really. Okay. Coming into the shadow area of this right hand bank. The river's not very wide. I'm going to use a bit of blue and a bit of umber. This is all shadow in this area. Okay. I'll do a bit of rigger work in there, just to drag that reflection in. Alright, make more of that shadow area now. This is all supposed to be the autumn leaves. This is just the background. I want some good dark in here now. So a bit of burnt sienna and a bit of Payne's grey. A bit of that cad yellow. Oh, just bits of greeny stuff in here. And once the paint starts to dry off a little bit, we can start to flick out some okay, we'll let that dry, just get a bit of the shadowy colour in there. Okay, so far so good. Let's just lift out some of that. We'll put some reflections in there. And we'll just go over it with a bit of harder burnt umber. And burnt sienna. The autumn leaves. Yeah. Now here we've got some nice trees going from green to autumn browns. And let's put that bank in there. Let's get some green in now. This is the shadow. No, this is not the shadow. This is the sunny bank. And into this I'll put darks, but I don't want to make this too muddy. I can help it. And as we come into the into the foreground, we'll warm things up a little bit. Bit of red, let's go for it. Whoops. And we can do a lot of stuff there with the fingernail rigger. A bit of shadow in here. Right, let's clean the brush. Always a good dodge. Well, before the paint dries, do some flicks. And then we'll start to texture that left-hand bank. We'll put in some green. And under that we'll put in some sienna. A bit of umber. And a bit of Painsbury. Just to give some darker bits in the shadow there. Okay. These are not big trees, that one is, but this one, these ones are sort of scrubby. Let's lose some of that in that undergrowth. Right, okay, so I'm going to go back to that side now and quickly put in a tree in shadow. So for that I'm going to I'll use a bit of blue and a bit of red and a bit of umber maybe. Have to get the water right on your hake. Now I want the brush to come back together again. Come on, brush. Not too much water, not enough paint. So I get a bit of a grey. I will use the rigger in a minute, and then texture over some of this. Okay, let's go. So that side's not dry, so I'll just let that go. For that, I'm quite happy with. I'm going to dry that off now. So headphones off. we're going to start to texture. Dry the brush off. Like that, so that the hairs go all up. So you've got lots of points. So a few leaves here and there. I'm going to put some green ones on these as well, because there will still be some green. I want some darks now, some darkish green in here. Stippling is a great way to show individual items, but the art is not making it mechanical. Otherwise it just looks mannered. Like that. Right, okay, let's clean that up there. Bit of tissue, just wet along there. I'm going to put a reflection in there. I'll do that now while I'm at it. So here we are, just coming down there. So we've got some umbers, some siennas. Right, okay. See, just by suggesting, you don't have to paint portraits or anything. Just suggest things. Now we'll do some rigger work. Rigger. Blue and umber. Gives the leaves something to cling on to. That's all you need to do, really. Put a bit over the other side. Leave quite a bit of wet in there. So to obliterate my nice light fingernail scrape ones. Just try to preserve that distance there. The bluey grey. It really is a tangled mess of a bank. So that just says reflection, look. Just some little ripples. Just in the old black here. Oh, just adds a little bit of nothing really. Right, let's have a signature and then we'll put a couple of birds in. Right, that's all I'm going to do to that one. Let's put it in a mount. Photograph it. And there we are, nice little river Wandle. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye.